Hey, this is Review by Norm. There's one thing that happened to me today. It was crazy because I got in the middle of a conversation with a older gentleman, and throughout the weeks and months, I usually spend time basically talking with younger kids, trying to get them on a path as far as getting through high school, what that entails, meaning getting a GED, getting an actual diploma, building an actual lifestyle, helping them understand credit, stuff like that, like why it's needed, um, getting them looking at like kind of stuff like Credit Karma, which is a good entry point for somebody that knows zero about credit, to then look at, TransUnion and then Xperia that are actually going to be the ones that dominate as far as validating your credit, and then stuff like that. But I talked to an old gentleman today, and we had a conversation about just the craziness. It was just like, man, how's it been? I was like, oh man, it's good. I have my own business personally. I own auto detailing up here in Alaska. And I was like, yeah, my chemical shipment's going to be nuts, when I start my product line. You know, prices just shot through the roof as far as just shipping. That's not even just the chemicals themselves, but the logistics just are astronomical. And then it went from there, which I shot myself in the foot. It went straight over to Russia, Ukraine. And, you know, I was like, yeah, I don't really know. And, the person was like, his head needs to be on a stick and yada, yada, yada. That's the problem. I was like, and I ask this question to anybody that has a problem with Putin. I'm not saying I like him either. I'm just saying what he and Ukraine have to deal with is what he and Ukraine has to deal with. But sadly, United States is now involved in it. We've been giving them money to Ukraine. We've been giving them weapons to Ukraine. We're basically for my personal opinion, could be wrong, we are at the start of World War III. Whether people want to admit that or not, this ain't no civil war. There is chemicals in the mix. There is mass weapons in the mix, and there are very large powers in the mix. There's China, Saudis, Russians, and Americans. It's a lot of what people aren't even paying attention to is they're looking to change the dollar uh, on oil from the United States dollar to the yen or the Russian rubles, or I don't offhand know the one for I guess the United Emirates, their currency, stuff like that, and getting rid of the dollar. That'll be a huge. That'll be a Mike Tyson off of Hangover hit to the face for American dollar. Like our dollar will just literally implode. We owe too much, and if it has no value to be able to pay, if we can't pay the interest on what we owe, you go bankrupt. Now, as a country goes bankrupt, everything is now worth practically nothing, and that gets to be a very scary story. Is um, hunters become hunted? Obviously, the ones that have gazillion bazillion of dollars are just going to move to a different country and just say, "Well, peace out," or they're going to have a fortress that they don't have to worry about leaving, stuff like that. So when I get back to it and we were talking, I was like, yeah, I've been hearing this a lot. People say he needs to die. He'd make his own people unhappy. Do we really know what's going on over there? I mean, I can't trust the news anymore. Like the media, so many things get spun so far in a circle, and people take it at face value. I mean, they take the news at face value at the same degree that they take a car at face value that shows it was only driven 5 miles. And it's not the thing. It's like, if you're gonna look at a car the way you look at the news, that speedometer could have been changed out. The whole, tires and everything got done, redone, and here you are paying full price for a beater of a car when you finally get off the lot. And I said, but who's going to take Putin's place? That was my big question. Russia's a large place. Make no mistake. I mean, we can all be honest about it. Who? It's going to be such a big power vacuum. Is who's going to take his place? Who? And for me, that gets to be very scary because we know what he's about. It's not hard to know what Putin's about. He's a bulldog. Sometimes he got to get slapped, and right now our government's not slapping him. That's why this keeps carrying on. I mean, it's already been said by people that didn't even like Trump is if Trump was here, this would never happen. Was it Trevor Noah was one of them, and then SNL did a skit about this whole situation. Like, there's been video after video about people clowning on Biden, just straight jokes about somebody, and then they put somebody at the first place finish that should be in this situation sort of speech, which is Trump. And it's like all these people hated him. Like, like I could be wrong, but it felt like genuine hate. It was like every day was a joke about him, and all of a sudden I was like, I guess whatever. He's a bad guy. Whatever. If you don't like him, you don't like him. But to then just bring him up now, a year after he's been gone, only a year, we got problems like this. Like, this is nuts. Year and a half, I guess. We want to get technical, coming up on June's around the corner. But this is nuts. This is super scary. But I'm genuinely interested. Is that power vacuum is who's going to take his place? Is it going to be the general that wants to press the red button? Is it going to be that guy from the shadows that kind of pulled the strings and we didn't know, and then he's just going to start launching just missiles, launching attacks on not just Ukraine but like other parts, like going into like France, Italy, the basically the second coming of the Reich. I mean, you don't know what's behind door number two because you want to destroy door number one. And he was like, well, let's see what happens. I said, all right, that's on you. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing out of your mouth if he does get killed, and then all of a sudden it's World War III, and then you're just like, oh, I guess that was a bad call. Because then he also said, we're in this together. No, we're not. You make more than me. I make more than somebody else. And me gonna go stand out on my porch and say, hey, we're all in this together. Same. No. No, there's somebody out here right now that's hungry. I'm gonna go into that anyways on a different talk. But take care. Have a good day. Peace.